just joined. Welcome, sir.
Okay.
Let's start the session. Bindu teacher.
Okay.
A very good and warm morning to everyone assembled in the event of Moon Day Celebration 2021 or Bharathan Government Higher Secondary School, Mahe. Let me first acknowledge the presence of our eminent chief guest. He is none other than Air Commodore Ravish Malhotra, the test pilot and wing commander, Indian Air Force, recipient of Kirti Chakra. Sir, your presence, we all feel blessed indeed. No event charms up without the presence of our Vice Principal, Srimati Tanuja MM, and our PTA President, Dr. G. Pradeep Kumar, who constantly extends his love and support to this institution. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome, sir. Now, respecting our rich tradition and system, let's start this function with a prayer song. I like to call upon Shreya R, +2 Science, to pray for us. Shreya.
நன்மையும் வளர்ப்பனே இன்னும் நல்ல காலம் வருத்தனே சத்தியமென்னும் பறையுவான் வேண்ட சக்தி என்னிலுணர்த்த லோக சேவனம் செய்யுமானே ஈஸ்வரா ಸ್ವಾರ್ಥ ಚಿಂತನ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣೆ ಎಂದೇ ಸಾಧನ ಇದು ಕೇಳ್ಕಣೆ ಸ್ವಾರ್ಥ ಚಿಂತನ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣೆ ಎಂದೇ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನಾ ಇದು ಕೇಳ್ಕಣೆ.
Thank you, Shreya. You did spread a wave of devotion. I would like to invite Srimati Girija Pilavuladil, the convener of Science Club, to formally welcome the gathering.
Honorable Chief Guest, Air Commodore Ravish Malhotra, respected Vice Principal Srimati Tanuja MM, PTA President Dr. G. Pradeep Kumar, dear colleagues and students, a very good morning to all. Today, it's my pleasure to welcome the Chief Guest and all the eminent speakers and guests who have joined this meet to share the vast experiences with us in connection with the celebration of National Moon Day. First of all, I welcome our Chief Guest, Air Commodore Ravish Malhotra, who is one of the finest diamonds of Indian Air Force. He has lots of powerful and thrilling experiences to share with us. Most respectfully, I welcome you, sir. Now, let me have the privilege to welcome our Vice Principal, Srimati Tanuja MM, who is an efficient administrator and a science-loving teacher. Let's appreciate her science-loving nature and efforts that made this function a reality. Madam, I welcome you to this function. Now I welcome our PTA President, Dr. G. Pradeep Kumar, who is always with us in all the activities of the school, giving full confidence and support. I feel delighted to welcome you, sir. I also welcome all the staff and students of our school to this grand function to make it a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher, for your earnest welcome address. It gives me immense pleasure to invite the lady behind all the successful saga of this institution, our Vice Principal, Srimati Tanuja MM, to deliver the presidential address. Ma'am.
Respected Chief Guest, Air Commodore Ravish Malhotra, Headmistress Ajita Teacher, our PTA President Dr. G. Pradeep Kumar sir, teachers, and my dear students. Good morning all. Really, I consider this as an honor for me to speak before you all today in this meet. The Science Club of our institution has taken effort to organize this meet to commemorate the day on which man first walked on the moon in the year 1969. The COVID pandemic situation had made it impossible to celebrate the Moon Day within the school campus, but the technology had made it possible to organize this through this online platform. This year, it is the 52nd anniversary of Neil Armstrong's first landing on moon, the single greatest technological achievement of all time, as NASA remarked. On this day, in 1969, Apollo 11 landed on the orbit of Earth's only satellite, and Armstrong described this stepping on moon as one single step of man, one giant leap of mankind. Every year we celebrate Moon Day at our school, but this Moon Day celebration will turn out to be a red letter day in the history of C. Bharathan Government Higher Secondary School, Mahe. We have with us an eminent person as our chief guest to deliver keynote address and also to interact with our students, and that is Kirti Chakra awardee, Air Commodore Ravish Malhotra, the backup astronaut for Indo-Soviet mission on Soyuz T-11. If Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma had not made into space, Ravish Malhotra would have been the first Indian to space. Though Ravish sir couldn't make his entry to space, he has had all the training needed for the space flight. We all look forward to hearing from you, sir. I'm sure, sir, your speech will create a good impact on our students, and our students are really blessed to have you here. So on behalf of this institution, I express my sincere gratitude from the bottom of my heart for readily accepting our invitation and also for interacting with our students despite your busy schedule. Eminent personalities visit our school once in a blue moon, but this occasion seems to be the rarest of all such occasions. I owe a debt of gratitude to all our science club members who have taken effort to organize a program like this. I'm really happy to preside over this function. Thank you, and now it's time for felicitation. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for your nice speech. To felicitate the gathering, may I invite a pleasant and familiar face to all of us, our PTA President, Dr. G. Pradeep Kumar. Sir, please.
Hello, am I audible, teacher?
Yes, yes, sir.
A very good morning to one and all gathered here. Respected Chief Guest of the Day, Ravish Malhotra sir, Vice Principal of the school, Tanuja teacher, Headmistress, respected teachers, students, very good morning to one and all. I consider it as a pleasure and privilege to be a part of this program. And as mentioned by the Vice Principal, during this pandemic situation, this is the only way that is online, the only solution for arranging programs like this. And Science Club has taken a good initiative in arranging such a wonderful program. And at the outset, I take this opportunity to congratulate the Science Club and all the members of the faculty or teachers and all who are behind this program. And we are really happy and indeed privileged because we have an eminent resource person with us. And he is well known, veteran personality, and who has a lot of experience, and he has already agreed to be part of this program, and he has agreed to interact with our children. And I request our children to make use of this opportunity, be attentive while he is delivering the talk, and towards the end of the talk, you can interact with such a experienced personality, and consider it as a good opportunity for all of you, and make use of the opportunity. And because people like Ravi sir, Malhotra sir, who has a lot of experience, not only in the field of science, and he has also lot of experience as in life. Throughout his career, he has faced a lot of they faced a lot of people, a lot of problems, and all those things molded him like a good human being. So he has many things to interact, many things to convey to our children. And children, I once again I request you to make use of this program. And you are a lucky lot because such a renowned personality is with us to interact with you. And I do not want to spend a lot of time. I wish the program all the success, and I wish to convey our gratitude on behalf of the PTA to Ravish Malhotra sir for accepting our invitation and be part of this program. And once again, I congratulate the effort of Science Club and the Bharathan Government Higher Secondary School for organizing such a wonderful program. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was a motivating speech. I am much delighted to invite Srimati Bhagyalata P., the young and active physics lecturer, to introduce the chief guest, Air Commodore Ravish Malhotra.
Ravish Malhotra, the retired Air Commodore of Indian Air Force, the man who served as the backup astronaut for Rakesh Sharma on the Soyuz T-11 space mission in 1984, which launched the first Indian into space. He was born on 25th December 1943 at Lahore in Punjab. He completed his school education at St. Thomas School, Calcutta, one of the oldest institutions in our country. Upon graduation, he got through NDA examination and joined Indian Air Force, which is really a boon for Ravish Malhotra, as it made possible for him to be a part of the Indo-Soviet space mission. He fought as a fighter pilot in 1971 Indo-Pak War and escaped a grave danger. He was then shortlisted in 1982 to take part in the Indo-Soviet space mission from a pool of 20 candidates, of which only 4 were shortlisted. At the end of final medical test in Moscow, only 2 were selected. The blessed Indian candidates were Rakesh Sharma and Ravish Malhotra. They were trained in undertaking different missions in space at Yuri Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center at Star City for 2 years, and the medium of instruction was Russian. They successfully completed the extremely demanding training schedule with credit and distinction. It was then decided that Rakesh Sharma would be in the main team and Ravish Malhotra would be the backup. Had Ricky had not made the cut or been excluded, Mallu could have been the first Indian who stepped in space. But he was not disappointed and believed that the key to success lies in perseverance and humility. He then served as a test pilot at the test center in Bangalore and retired from service on 4th November 1994 as Air Commodore of Hindon Air Force Station near Delhi. Later, he worked for the Aerospace Department of Dynamatic Technologies Limited, Bangalore. He was also its co-founder and chief mentor and continued his service till he turned 75. Ravish Malhotra was honored several awards like Kirti Chakra and Soviet Order of Friendship of Peoples in 1984. Though he never went to space himself, the exposure to space technology and cosmonaut training has been a cherished experience for the wing commander Ravish Malhotra. Let us hear the untold story of the fighter pilot who almost became the first Indian in space. A warm welcome to our school, sir.
Thank you, teacher. What an informative introduction. We will proceed to our next program, a short video about our chief guest.
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
जी मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा.
For the launching of your spacecraft with fascination, we share your excitement. Yours is a historic endeavor. I hope it will make our country space conscious and inspire our young people to be more adventurous. Your work has great significance for increasing humankind's knowledge of the mysteries of outer space and its direct bearing on our planet's ecosystem and the other information we need. We want to use this knowledge for peaceful purposes and for the good of all peoples of our world. I was glad to hear that you're feeling well mentally, physically, and I hope that you will continue to do so. We equally admire the hard work put in by Wing Commander Ravish Malhotra, who has been a good companion to you during the arduous years of preparation.
I hope that you all enjoyed a lot. It was a historic, inspirational, and patriotic video. Now, I request with great respect our chief guest, Air Commodore Ravish Malhotra, who underwent an extremely demanding training schedule as cosmonaut at the Yuri Gagarin Center in USSR, to address us and share his experience while he walks us through his memory lane. Sir, please, we look forward to hearing words of wisdom.
Sir, not
Sir,
audible,
unmute
sir.
Erika.
Your mic is... Please unmute your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. First of all, respected Shri Pradeep Kumar, the Vice Principal, Shrimati Tanuja, Shrimati Girja, and the staff of the CE Bharathan Government Higher Secondary School, Mahe, and the students, of course, the most important part of our gathering today. I am amazed at the amount of preparation the school has done to bring about this meeting today with the students. I really applaud the efforts of all those involved and the school in particular. In fact, I'm happy to be with you all this morning on the occasion of Moon Day celebrations at the school. You know, space is actually a buzzword these days. As was indicated that the Lunar Day or the Moon Day is celebrated every year on the 20th of July, because it was on this day that Neil Armstrong was the first human being to land on the moon. It was indeed a very remarkable achievement for humankind. In fact, what he said as he stepped down on the moon was that a small step for man, but a giant leap for mankind. It is so true even today. And in fact, the Americans are planning another trip to the moon. This will be, I think, in 2024. You know, today's students are actually going to be the citizens of tomorrow. In fact, you will be the leaders of tomorrow. I understand that the school gives equal importance to the studies as well as co-curricular activities, thereby, giving you a very holistic education. I think a lot of people, would wonder, why do I need education? But education raises an individual's self-esteem, and you develop yourself from within. It offers you opportunities for employment and to follow a successful career. Education, I feel, is absolutely imperative for a child to become a responsible citizen. Now, advancements in technology offer new possibilities for learning as well as teaching. As was pointed out earlier, today technology is playing a crucial role in the field of education. An example, a simple example would be, the online classes that have been conducted during this pandemic. In spite of the schools being closed, the education per se has not been disrupted thanks to technology. In fact, even this meeting of ours today is thanks to technology, the Zoom meeting that we are having, made possible because of advancements in technology. I think all you students should consider yourselves privileged living in this day and age. Today, you have a multitude of career options. My advice to you students is follow your heart, do what you love, and love what you do. Concentrate on your studies, work hard, and put your heart and soul into everything that you do. Hard work always pays dividends. It is a mantra for success. Do not forget it. Now, as part of the Lunar Day or your Moon Day celebrations, I think it will be my pleasure to share with you some of my experiences during my training at the Yuri Gagarin Space Center in Moscow, just outside Moscow. And at the end of the session, I will be glad to take on some of your questions. I will try and answer your questions, certainly. And so with that, I will quickly go through, what our training schedule was like. As was indicated, we landed up there, not knowing Russian. We knew a smattering of Russian, but it was required to be fully conversant in Russian. And therefore, for the first 3 months, all we did was learn Russian. And we were very proficient at the language by the end of 3 months. And this was necessary because all your instrumentation, all your documentation, the operating procedures, everything is in Russian. So we needed to understand that to start our training. And that was the beginning of our training. Once this was over, then we got on to the actual technical training, which basically consisted of theory classes, simulator sessions, and we also had, physical training, which is a very, very important part of the entire curriculum. Apart from this, there was zero gravity as well as sea survival training. Just a bit to tell you, when we landed up there, we had to have all our meals at the messing facility. The students also probably have a messing facility in the school. I don't know. But we had to have our meals at this messing facility. Although our families were there, but you could only have meals at home during the weekends. Why was this? This is because they wanted to control the calorie intake of the astronauts, and also you do a certain amount of exercise so that you're at all times you're at the peak of your fitness. That is the reason why we were forbidden to have food at home, and we could only have it there at this particular facility. Now, as far as the the training for almost a year and a half, a little over a year and a half, was very rigorous, certainly. It used to amount to almost a 12-hour day every day. And can you imagine doing that even from October onwards? In Moscow, you have temperatures of minus 20 degrees, and it's snowing most of the time. So you're trudging through snow, going from classes to simulators for your physical training sessions. So all this is done during the course of the day. Your what do you call this? One moment. The classrooms, the theory classes basically consisted of space navigation, your space medicine, then all the systems on the spacecraft you needed to know absolutely thoroughly. Then you needed to know all the standard operating procedures. Just one moment. And you needed to work as a team. So apart from the theory, there were extensive sessions in the simulators, both the Soyuz T-11 simulator, as well as at that time, they had the Mir simulator, that is the Soviet space station. So we practiced a lot on the Mir space station, as well as on the Soyuz T-11. So you would know all the systems, you would know everything backwards, so that should anything go wrong up there, you should be able to take care of any emergency that may arise on the spacecraft. And in the late afternoons, then we would end up going for physical training sessions, and we would have at least 2 to 3 hours. You would go for a jog, then you would do some gymming exercises to strengthen your muscles. Then you would, they would allow you to play some tennis. Then, a lot of the times you don't get the sunlight there in that area in Moscow. It is covered all the time. And therefore, you need a little bit of ultraviolet light, so that they give you ultraviolet light through those artificial means, that you get that what you get from the sun. So this is given to you artificially. And at the end of each training session, you have a physiotherapist that takes you through a lot of exercises at the end of the day. So you eventually, you leave home at 8 in the morning, and you're getting back at almost 8 in the evening. That is the kind of schedule that we followed throughout. Now, we were, apart from this, as I said, zero gravity was another training that we were given on an aircraft, which we, it was on an Il-76 Russian aircraft. It's a transport aircraft. On the inside, it is completely padded, and they take you up, and they do a over-the-top maneuver, and this gives you approximately about 25 to 30 seconds of zero gravity. And they do this about 15 times during the mission. And this is to give you an idea of what zero gravity would be like when you actually go up into space. I mean, just to give you an example, I mean, I'll show you a photograph. You know, now here it is. If you notice, I'm inside that aircraft and I'm floating in the air. I'm actually close to the roof of the aircraft and you're floating. Similarly here, if you notice, you know, it's a great feeling. Although, you know, they say that in space, under zero gravity, there are people who get sick, but luckily neither Rakesh or myself got sick at all. So once again, this is probably due to the peak fitness levels that we maintained throughout our stay at the college, at the Yuri Gagarin Training Center for cosmonauts. Apart from this, see, the recovery is the Soviet Union, the recovery always takes place in water. That means the crew capsule is recovered in the sea. And therefore, sea survival training was another very important part of our training. In fact, I'll just show you here, if you can see, this is we are, you know, you've come out of the capsule and then you're asked to light a flare so that you can be spotted from the air. What they do is that you strap yourself up in the capsule, you're taken in a helicopter, the capsule is taken in the helicopter and then dropped into the sea. And you have, you know, somebody outside the capsule who is shaking it to simulate, what do you call this, you know, sea state of 6, very rough seas, so that, you know, you can end up when you come back, you may land in a place where the seas are very rough. And therefore, you need to be able to unstrap yourselves and come out of the capsule and light the flare so that you can be spotted and the helicopter can come and pick you up. This is another very important part of the training schedule. I think I will leave a lot of, if there are any questions at the end of this. Okay, so let me take on some of the questions that the students may have. Are you all going to, or do you want me to read out the questions that?
So we'll call out the names, sir.
You do that, please.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your thoughts and knowledgeable ideas. Your speech radiated a source of energy within us. Now, students, here comes the most interesting section, the interaction between the Chief Guest, Air Commodore Ravish Malhotra, and the students of CE Bharathan. I'd like to call upon Sania Manoj Kalandil, +2 Science. Sania.
Sir, as far as we students are concerned, going to space is fearful. What made you choose this difficult task?
See, fear of the unknown is always there, you know, but it is associated with excitement, adventure, new challenges, and therefore you tend to overcome fear. You know, anything that you do, if you've not done it before, there is a certain element of doubt, but once you're in there, it gets, and you know, space, of course, was a very exciting adventure.
Thank you, sir. That was a
Thank you,
spectacular
sir.
answer. Yes, space is an inspirational concept that allows you to dream big. Now comes Fatimatul Ania Ali KP, +2 Science, with a question. Ania. Fatimatul Ania. I think it's not audible. So I'll repeat the question, sir. Sir, there are many youngsters in the world who have the aspiration to go to space, but are faced with the challenge of physical disability. Don't you think they must be given a chance? Isn't a strong mindset the most needed quality?
I think certainly any physically challenged person can go into space. What you need is a strong mindset, and you can conquer anything. So the answer is yes, definitely.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable advice. We know that optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Now, Srilashmi CK 9th A, you can ask your question. Srilashmi CK.
Sir, we all know that there is a teacher who inspired everyone in life. Who is your favorite teacher, sir? What was your childhood dream?
You know, I cannot single out any teacher, but when I recall, all my teachers have inspired me. In fact, I am what I am today as a result of a very strong foundation laid during my growing up years in school. And as far as my dreams are concerned, most of my family, all my cousins, they were all in the armed forces. And therefore, as I was growing up, my dream was to join the armed forces and serve the country. And that's exactly what I did. As soon as I finished my high school, I joined, I cleared the examination for National Defense Academy, joined there for 3 years, and at the end of 3 years, joined the Air Force Academy and became a pilot. So my dream was to become a pilot. Little did I know at that point in time that I would eventually end up being chosen as one of the two cosmonauts for the country.
Thank you, sir. You made the teacher community proud. At this moment, I like to quote the famous line, I am indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well. Now comes Nua Nafisa plus 2 commerce. Nua
Sir?
Nafisa.
Could you please share your most memorable experience in your training session?
I think the most memorable experience definitely was the zero gravity training. Something that you'd never done before. And you can imagine in zero gravity, what happens is that if I press a finger against the wall, I will go flying across to the other side of the room or the other side of the aircraft. Now, that kind of a feeling you cannot get on Earth because of gravity. Now, under microgravity, for instance, in the space station, at night when you sleep, you don't have to be on the floor, or you can hit yourself on the side of the spacecraft or on the roof. It would make no difference at all. That is the kind of experience that one gets during these zero gravity training sessions. I think that was one of the most amazing things that I went through.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you for rewinding the memories of your training, the unflinching dedication, outstanding zeal, exceptional professionalism, and courage. Now I welcome Dia Lal 9th A with a question. Dia Lal.
What do you think of Indian space technology compared to the WWF?
So I'll repeat the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of Indian space technologies compared to other developed countries?
I think that Indian space technology compares very well with the developed nations. In fact, space technology is something that has put India on the world map. India will be the 4th nation in the world when we send up our own astronauts sometime next year on, the Gaganyaan mission. That means the crew capsule will be indigenously made in India. The rocket on which they will go up will be made in India. and the entire technology is indigenous, and they will take off from Sriharikota range, which is near Chennai. I think it will be a great achievement for us once we have that. In fact, in 2014, when we had the Mangalyaan mission, that India is the only country that has been successful in sending up a Mars mission, on the first attempt itself. No other country has been able to do that. I think that speaks a lot for the technology that we have developed, our scientists have developed in this country. And also they did it at a fraction of the cost. In 2017, I think we created a world record by sending into orbit 144 satellites in one space flight, and that was an achievement which no one had done before. So you can imagine the amount of knowledge that exists within our country.
Sir, thank you for giving such valuable notes on Indian space exploration and development of related technologies. Now I call Isha Kishore Tente. Isha Kishore Tente, you can ask the question to the chief guest.
How did you feel when you received Kirti Chakra?
I was actually very humbled by the fact that the nation considered me worthy of this honor. All I did was I was doing my duty. We were sent there for a mission and for training to become an astronaut, to represent our country. But for awarding me a Kirti Chakra, I think I was humbled. I was very, very grateful.
Thank you, sir. Winning Kirti Chakra is the dream of every Indian. Sir, you are a pride for the nation. Now I call on Shreya R, 12th Science.
Good morning, sir. Sir, what is your advice to aspiring pilots and astronauts?
Well, being a pilot is a very, very exciting career. In fact, when you strap into an aircraft, you strap yourself and you close the canopy and you start your engines. It is so exciting when you taxi out to the beginning of the runway and take off. And once you're airborne, the whole world is under you. It's not like, when you fly in commercial aircraft as a passenger, it is a totally different experience. But when you're piloting the aircraft, it's amazing. In fact, you have different kinds of pilots. You have helicopter pilots, you have pilots who fly transport aircraft, you have pilots who fly fighter aircraft, then you have commercial pilots. But this particular career has a lot of responsibility. Can you imagine a commercial pilot carries more than 200, 300 passengers on his aircraft, and he needs to ferry them from a city to another city and safely. So there is a lot of responsibility. For instance, let's take a fighter pilot. Do you know what a fighter plane costs these days? It's anywhere from 400, 450 crores to 600, 700 crores. Now that is the kind of aeroplane that young pilot is taking up. So that is the kind of responsibility that is there on your shoulders. Now, as far as an astronaut is concerned, I think it's even more exciting. It's like, imagine I would turn around and say, you can reach for the stars. But I always say that when you're reaching for the stars, just stay grounded, because you're, at the end of the day, you're still a human being. You're this thing, species on Earth. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Your answer is very encouraging, inspiring to our aspiring pilots and astronauts, sir. Now comes Sridhan K of 10th A with his question. Sridhan K.
Good morning, sir. Could you please explain your experiences in zero gravity training? Had you felt that you were in space?
I just went through this zero gravity training. Uh, it is something that is very, very unique. And, the only way it can be experienced is, like I said, in an aircraft where you do these over the top maneuvers and you get 25 to 30 seconds of zero gravity where you actually float around. And the other way to do it is they also practice this in underwater. But zero gravity is something that is amazing, and to be up in space for 6-7 days at a time under zero gravity and experiencing zero gravity is something that all astronauts do. Sridhan, have I answered your question?
Thank you, sir.
Sir, had you felt that you were in space
Pardon?
at that time? Had you felt
No,
that you were in
I
space
cannot
at
hear
that
you.
time?
Pardon?
Had you felt that you were in space at that time?
Yes, you actually feel that you're in space because you're under zero gravity. And you're actually flying around in that huge aircraft. And you can imagine up in the air, nobody holding you, and you just press one side of the aeroplane and you're flying all the way across to the other side of the aeroplane. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
Thank you, sir. So the words of an achiever will be a milestone for a learner. I'm sure that every student will feel the depth of your experience, sir. Now comes Fatimatul Anina P of 9th A with a question. Fatimatul Anina.
Sir, could you please share any difficult experience you faced in your career?
I am basically I am an Air Force test pilot. Initially, I was a fighter pilot, and I trained as a test pilot in the United States Air Force Test Pilot School. And as a test pilot, you're required to test new aircraft and new systems, new weapons. And it is a risky profession, and you do encounter difficult experiences. And I have also that you end up. It's just that you are experienced, and therefore you come out of it. And I'm here today with you, speaking to you all. And of course, the other time was when I took part in the 1971 war. In fact, I did almost 17 missions across the border. And there were a number of times that I came back with bullet holes in the aircraft. We used to be attacking the tanks on the ground, the army tanks, enemy army tanks on the ground, and you would have those anti-aircraft guns, and they would be shooting back at you. And you would be flying, and you could hear the thud, 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 and you know that bullets are hitting you. It's just by the grace of God that your few aircraft didn't catch fire, and I was able to come back. And our technicians on the ground would then overnight repair the aircraft, get it ready for the next morning. So this is one of the times when throughout that entire war, we were going across the border, people were firing at us. There were even aircraft were firing missiles at us. When you enemy aircraft, or they fire guns at you, and you end up making sure that you are not shot down. So those are some difficult times, but that is part of the job that I'm training to do, that I trained to do as an Air Force pilot. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Your words reveal how you face difficulties in your career with much gallantry and courage. Our students should take it as a good lesson for their personality development. Now I call Sandra Saju of 10th A with a question. Sandra Saju.
Sir, what was your sudden feeling when you came to know that you were not the one among two? Were you disappointed? How did you overcome your disappointment, sir?
You know, the very fact that I was one of the two astronaut candidates chosen out of a country of 1.3 billion at that time itself, I think, was a great honor. And we knew right from the beginning that it would either be one of us who would go up and the other one would remain standby. And therefore, you know, I dare say that yes, it was a disappointment, but then life has ups and downs, and you need to be able to take the ups and downs in your life and at the end come out as a winner.
Thank you, sir. Sir, this answer.
No, I mean, is there? Did I satisfy her question?
I think
because I've been asked this a number of times.
Okay, thank you, sir. This answer from you reveals what a good human being you are, sir. Now comes Ananya KK of 10th A with a question. Ananya KK.
Good morning, sir. In 1982, you were chosen to train for spaceflight in the Soviet Union Cosmos program. At that moment, what was in your mind? Were you excited?
Sir, she's having some audio problem. I'll repeat the question.
Okay.
In 1982, you were chosen to train for space flight in the Soviet Union's Intercosmos program. At that moment, what was in your mind? Were you excited?
I was certainly very excited. My God, excitement knew no bounds. You know, it was a new challenge, and I was representing the country. I think it was something that we were really looking forward to. And as soon as we landed up in Moscow, we put our heart and soul into that mission. It went into training, and because it was something that you know, the space flight inspired our the entire youth of the country at that point in time. And I'm sure when our own Gaganauts, our own astronauts go up next year, it is going to be something remarkable to look forward to.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we feel so humbled before Air Commodore Ravish Malhotra, the man who almost made it to space. At this juncture, I'm proud to, sir, I like to call you Mallu. You're one among us. Now, I call on Sia Suresh of 9th A with a question.
Sir, what was your narrow escape in Indo-Pak War?
You know, there was one day when I had gone on a mission and I came back with almost 14 bullet holes in my aircraft. And I was very lucky, you know, by the grace of God, to be able to make it back to my base in the Punjab, where I was flying out of. Otherwise, you know, there were a lot of my comrades who were shot down, and some of them were taken as prisoners of war, and a lot of them, you know, died during their missions. So, you know, it's something that one has to be grateful to the Almighty, that, you know, you're doing your duty. You need to go out there. You're fighting a war, but it's you know, the Almighty who decides that yes, you're going to come back, and I'm going to be talking to you today like this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now we came to know the patriot in you, the soldier who faced challenges and assets in the Indo-Pak War. Now, with the last question, I'd like to call on Levin Vijayan of 10th A. Levin Vijayan. Levin Vijayan, can you hear me?
Sir, was your family supportive when you were selected for space mission?
Yes, they were very, very supportive. In fact, my children at that time were, I think, 8 years and 10 years or even younger. And including my wife, the entire family, even my mother and my father was not alive at that time, but my mother was alive. The whole family was very supportive of, the fact that I had been chosen to undergo this training at Moscow. And it helps a lot, to have the entire family behind you. It gives you a lot of courage. And, with that in mind, you go out there and put your heart and soul into the mission that you're going to be undertaking. So it is very necessary, actually. And I'm very grateful to my family for having supported me right throughout.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. At this moment, I like to quote the famous line, "The love of a family is life's greatest blessing." And you're a blessed one, sir. Now we'll go to the next session. Dear students, here is the most awaited moment, the announcement of the winners of Space Quiz conducted on 12th July 2021. I'm really honored to invite Air Commodore Ravish Malhotra for the announcement of the names of the winners. Sir, please.
First of all, let me congratulate everybody who took part in the quiz. And in particular, the winners of the competition. Now, in the high school section, the first prize goes to Sridhin K, 10th standard. Let us give him a hand. The second prize goes to Fatimatul Anina of Standard 9. And a consolation prize to Dia Lal of Standard 9. And also a consolation prize to Kiran PP of Standard 10. Congratulations. Now in the higher secondary section, the first prize goes to Shreya R in +2 science. The second prize to Fatimatul Hania Ali, KB, again +2 science. Congratulations to you. And then the second prize again goes to Sanya Manoj Kalandil. Congratulations. Again, +2 science. And the last prize is the participation prize, again from +2 science, goes to Nada Fatima Nazir. Congratulations to you all. So a big hearty congratulations to all the winners.
Thank you, sir. This is a moment to cherish. Now, the best
I'm sure the students will cherish these certificates. It was a pleasure, signing all the certificates for these students.
Sir, thank you, sir. It's a privilege for us, sir. The best and beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt by art. Thank you, Nanni, Nandri, Dhanyavad is one such expression. So now I invite our student, Nua Nafisa +2 Commerce, to propose a vote of thanks for the occasion.
Good morning to all. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. First and foremost, I thank a special guest, the Air Commodore, Ravish Malhotra, who despite his busy schedule has found time to grace this occasion. Sir, your words were so inspiring and motivating for us. Thank you, sir. We are grateful to Dr. G. Pradeep Kumar, the PTA president of this institution. I thank him for his interest and continued support. I thank our Vice Principal, Srimati Tanuja ma'am, for her support and commitment. My heartfelt thanks to the heads of various departments and the faculty for their courage, for their encouragement, guidance, and contribution. I also congratulate the winners and the participants of the space quiz. Last but not the least, I thank all of you for your cooperation for making this function a resounding success. Finally, I leave you this inspiring quote by Kalpana Chawla. You must enjoy the journey because whether or not you get there, you must have fun on the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I speak for a few seconds?
Certainly, sir, please.
Sure, sir.
And in fact, sir, I really, I wanted to take a class in between, but I postponed my class because of your presence and your words. And it was really inspiring, in fact, for me. So I feel, really privileged and, real opportunity of such a wonderful and such another 1% a successful program. And as a PTA president and as member of the PTA, I extend hearty congratulations and thanks to you, sir, for being with us. Thank you very much. And it was, at this age also, you are so humble and so down to earth, and you are so dynamic. And this is what is exactly we wanted to translate to our young minds. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, really.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ravish, sir, we are.
And one more, and Tanuja teacher, one second more. And I congratulate the Science Club as well as the school faculty, all the people who have taken efforts for arranging this program. Thank you. Wish you all good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
you, sir. Ravish, sir, we are so
from my side
to
also,
you,
I
sir.
think I'd like to, from my side also, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who has taken all this effort to make this entire program such a success.
Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you.
So we are really honored by your presence, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, all of you, really.
Thank you very much to one and all for devoting your precious time and being a part of this event. Let us all stand up for the national anthem. Sir?
Yeah, thank you.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल उत्कलवङ्गा विन्ध्य हिमाचल यमुना गङ्गा उच्चल जलधितरङ्गा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे